he was born to be with clothes, make clothes for other people. And he, you know, he can, there have been times when it's been like 10 outfits before we go out. I have my classics, like Gerard has like maybe, I don't know, 1,500 pieces in his closet. I have 2 racks in mine.
I have such a love for all, you know, it's not just in the objects. I mean, whether it's clothing, whether it's textile, I mean, I just think there's such a beauty and richness. And I mean, that's why the layering aspect of, you know, how I live and what I look at.
I'm from Russia, and I'm a New Yorker. I won a green card in the lottery. My father, he put us in the lottery during like when communism was ending, and he came to America, and we won. Spent a lot of time in Paris, re-educating my mind and my senses and everything about myself.
Back to like junior high and high school, I was definitely not the norm. You know, there were the Smiths carpenter pant, and I think I had a magenta pair. I'm sorry to admit it. My best friend from college, his father, Vince Latuca, he had a house upstate near Hunter Mountain, and so '88 we started going up there. But I was so captivated. I mean, he basically had collections of everything. And since I couldn't really afford a lot of the designer stuff I wanted, that's when I started buying vintage. You know, Seth at the time, who we started the business together, you know, we were going out in the city and, you know, partying, you know, 5 nights a week and basically shopping for vintage, and we would get like tons of compliments on, you know, our pieces. I really had no other friends that were really into fashion, you know, to any degree. You know, we saw the space on West Broadway, which at that point was like a huge leap. You know, you feel like the words get abused, but you know, there's a bohemian hippie rock and roll. I mean, it's like, it depends on the wave of what you're feeling, but like, it's so much late 60s, early 70s, which was all the throwbacks to, you know, the 30s and the Victorian period.
Right.
So I mean, you can kind of encompass all those depending on how you want to put it together or what the aesthetic and the environment is.
This is from a box of hats that Gerard got from France, so maybe 70s. I've never had one like this before, so Gerard also introduced me to this beautiful Granny Takes a Trip madness, which they used to put acid into these labels.
These are wonderful 70s purple suedes, lace-ups, just unbelievable. Val had actually found these in at the Jersey space, and we've kind of both been rocking them. 30s English scarf, bias cut scarf, part of collection.
You know, as a New Yorker, you can live in black for the rest of your life. This vintage 60s piece, but concho belts and leather pants and...
I love this, like, kind of reminds me of Pink Floyd, Obscured by Clouds, like totally depicting this like 60s, you know, mod deal, and it's really like a shark skin.
This is
almost.
the same fabric.
It is. I'm just actually.
Oh my God, this is the same fabric.
We're just really kind of looking at it, seeing the light this way. And this is really special. It's you know, you see a lot of studded belts around and about, but this is like really proper. This is probably like 30s, 40s beetle boots with this crazy side zip, and this is a Navajo cuff.
It's Marimekko inspired vintage, like late 60s piece. They're my Mick Jagger slippers. He had something like this on in performance, and I'm like, wow. Turquoise, old Harley Davidson pieces.
Yeah, these are well, there was a lot from like late 60s, early 70s. A lot, mostly usually made in India. I mean, you'd see a lot of like more the Madras and stuff, but this paisley is like a really unique version. I have a wonderful collection of 30s English scarves. These are really fantastic. They're Spanish and just a phenomenal silhouette. I feel like 70s beautiful gold
vintage.
Metallic monster. I mean,
Jesus.
Monster.
It's one of those like iconic like flower power. Real deal, like custom pieces from England that you would see, you know, between, you know, the Beatles and Hendrix and what they. And it's really like a museum piece. It's wonderful. John Lennon Mind Games original tee.
This is another piece from my kaftan collection. I got it in Berlin with Gerard. We bought it by the pound, and it's been like my biggest favorite kaftan that I've ever had. It's a English military belt, my
Keys.
keys, which represent Gerard, and Jimi Hendrix. Both of these people keep me safe and sane and inspired and always look over me.
She's an old soul.
Yeah.
So
I was
she's got it in
forming
her.
my
Right.
identity and kind of like my thing in Paris, and I was finding new things that I loved, but then Gerard introduced me to the old rock and roll. I knew new rock and roll, and I liked it a lot. He introduced me to furniture.
I'm learning so much from Val, you know, from so many angles. But you know, you also have you're incredible. I mean, for your age and where you're at, and how much art she's versed in and has seen. We've had just so many wonderful moments
And traveled and shopped for vintage and shopped for art and
so many great friends.
shows and friends, and we've really, really combined.
Combined, it's made like a whole new world.
Yeah, yeah.